Good morning, Wabash. This week, speaking in Pioneer Chapel is Student Body President Jack Kellerman. Jack Kellerman is a senior majoring in political science and rhetoric and is currently serving as the 100th Student Body President of Wabash College. Giving his talk titled State of the Campus, please welcome Jack Kellerman.
Good morning, Wabash. Good morning, Students Club President Woodward, Vice President Kleiman, brothers of Wabash College, our esteemed faculty and staff, and to all of those who are part of our precious community. It is an honor to address to you in such a time-tested tradition. I now stand in the shadows of the great men and women who have made their mark in our hearts and minds through the last 89 years at this spot. However, Chapel predates the Pioneer Chapel as far back as 1863 when President Tuttle mandated his sermons for all students. They have illuminated new perspectives on the contemporary issues facing Wabash, our country, and the world. Today, I will report on the changes Wabash has seen, where we are, and where I hope we go as an institution from the perspective of a student. I can report to you all that the state of this old and youthful community of motivated and eager students in the 185th year of its life is moving like a bright beam from a lighthouse to an unclear and foggy future. It will take thoughtful students who live out the mission statement day to day to bring fame to her honored name. Academic achievement remains high. Athletics continue to thrive, and Wabash has welcomed the largest class in recent memory to our home. But not all aspects are in such great shape. Last year, Wabash saw some hard times. In a close and hard-fought game, the school down south snuck away with the bell. Campus unity in all its forms, from bands of brothers, touring house to house in high spirits, to other events that brought us together, felt smaller in number. Most importantly, we lost two dear brothers. Over the summer, the Dean's President's Council discussed a great number of objects surrounding the student life experience of Wabash College. One object of particular focus was breathing life back into campus with renewed energy and dedication. The aim is to bring us as a community together, both in celebration and in times of trouble. We hope to live up to the motto, One Wabash. Let us have the will and patience to work together, both students and administrators alike, to continue the ongoing pursuit of creating a more perfect community. Let us think of innovative ways to getting people out of their rooms and in the presence of their fellow brother. Let us embrace and overcome all future challenges that changing times may bring. We, the students of Wabash College, have rededicated ourselves to the pursuit of a stronger brotherhood. The Sphinx Club has brought back the tradition of pep rallies on Friday. We have had the earliest unity tour of recent memory and are planning another one next week for homecoming that brings together brothers from all corners of the campus. Neither would have been possible without the support of all students. The Crawfordsville to Campus Committee is bringing back the taste of Wabash to allow us to eat together, not just with each other, but with potential students, alumni, and beloved members of our community. The Student Life Committee is organizing the biggest casino night in our time of Wabash College, and is enabling many Wabash students to watch the Pacers game take on the Trailblazers in October. Student leaders have been working with a number of Wabash College faculty and administrators to enhance the game day experience. We will have flags that spread the name of Wabash College across the field. We will have a unified tailgate experience for homecoming, and we will have an air raid siren that will be heard on every touchdown. We should be prepared to hear this often. We'll have a reimagined experience that brings Wabash fans together for the Monon Bell game. This is altogether fitting for the year we reclaim the bell while still warm from the hands of Wabash men who held it close for 7 years. We will eat together. We will spend our evenings together. We will show pride together, and we'll celebrate our victories together. Why focus on camaraderie at such a high-achieving and rigorous school? Because it reminds us of what makes life so sweet. Nancy Reagan once said, "To my young friends out there, life can be great, but not when you can't see it. So open your eyes to life, to see it in the vivid colors that God gave us as his precious gift. to enjoy your life to the fullest and to make it count. Say yes to your life. Enjoy your precious time here during these fleeting years. Never again will you live so close to dear friends and mentors, engaging with the many activities that make up the Wabash College experience. As First Lady Reagan alluded to, by saying yes to your life, it's an active role, an intentional decision and subsequent action to get involved, to go to campus events, to cultivate lifelong friendships, and to enjoy the richness of the Wabash experience. Wabash is what you and all of us make it. Think for a moment just how far we have come in the last 4 years. Wabash has built and cultivated the home for the next wave of Wabash men. In just 4 years, we have seen the erection of new living units. Theta Delta Chi has moved closer to the heart of Wabash, Delta Tau Delta recolonized, and brothers from St. Joseph's College have joined our ranks and are now presently seated among us, sharing in our traditions and taking part in creating the fabric that makes Wabash College. To offer a true testament of such changing landscape, the term Dirty Dale is no longer part of the Wabash vernacular. Even at the present moment, not all has been so great an air of good feeling. I'd be remiss if I did not address the current issues facing the student body of Wabash College. The world as we know it is changing day by day. President Hess alluded to it just 2 weeks ago, and Wabash and any other institution, no matter how hard it may try, cannot avoid its effects. When I penned my opinion last year, Walking on Eggshells, where I was critical of some of Wabash's actions towards self-governance, I believe I captured a sentiment many have felt in the changing times. I had a number of people come and share feelings that Wabash is starting to stray too far from its traditions due to fear of public perception, that Wabash was losing its ability to empower students, to be self-governing, and to own the culture within their own organizations due to liability, that Wabash does not have the freedom that it may have once enjoyed a number of years ago. The Wabash, as some of us know it, is changing, but it is and always will be changing. It is the inevitable and unavoidable continuum, and it is in our human nature to resist such change. If we look only to the past, hope it will once again be in the future, we lose what we can create in the present. At the present moment, there are changes in national trends and attitudes towards Greek life, with social media and journalism framing things about how people want to perceive them in a public that seems to jump to conclusions perhaps too quickly. Wabash is presented with a new frontier of challenges that students must grapple with for years to come. With a watchful eye of social media, with a sometimes zealous public, and with a world that a single mistake can jeopardize a whole institution, now, more than ever, Wabash must strive to live up to its mission statement. Now and for future generations of Wabash men that will one day inherit our alma mater, we must think critically, act responsibly, lead effectively, and live humanely. Students must not only embrace this new frontier, students must also think about, own, and solve their issues. Students must think critically about their decisions. Their actions and how it may be perceived by the public must be at the forefront of their minds. A number of years ago, all freshmen wore pots and couldn't walk on the grass of the mall. This, of course, was until a freshman climbed up a grease pole and reclaimed a pot fixated on top of a pole guarded by the sophomore class. You still hear about this tradition from time to time in alumni from the 50s and 60s. In a time before that, in the early 1900s, the freshman-sophomore class scrap occurred annually. That tradition only lives on through the accounts and photos Wabash has kept, such as the photo that is displayed in the 1832 Brew Lounge. I heavily encourage checking it out. It's a very interesting photo. Wabash is a place of many traditions. However, it's important to remember traditions come, transform, and sometimes go as the tides change from generation to generation of Wabash men. We have seen such changes in our 4 years here and will continue to experience such changes. This is no new phenomenon to Wabash College. Students must act responsibly toward one another. When I think about this part, I can't help but heed what President Gregory Hess captured in his chapel talk 2 weeks ago. President Hess's chapel talk was timely and should be considered when we think about changes happening on campus. In his chapel talk, President Hess introduced the three Franks. Frank Gallagher, representing hopelessness and perceived lack of choices and consequences. The second is Frank Underwood, representing self-centeredness and caring very little about how others are affected. The third Frank is Pope Francis. Pope Francis represented the attribution of mercy and compassion. Compassion meaning to suffer with, to not remain indifferent to the pain and suffering of others. President Hess ties these back to the gentleman's rule and how our choices can be shameless, self-centered, or compassionate. How we treat our guests, each other, and new members of different organizations is a reflection of who we are, and as President Hess asked, what Frank we want to be. Student leaders must lead effectively. This semester, as in every semester, brings new challenges to campus. This semester, fire alarms happen to be an issue that may have been set off too often. A leader doesn't look to cast blame on others or sit idly in the silent majority. Rather, a leader works towards a solution regardless of who is at fault. A leader takes initiative. A leader doesn't succumb to the diffusion of responsibility. The Interfraternity Council has already taken measures. House leaders have already started the process to check faulty alarm systems and internally dealing with such issues. We as a student body must follow and also lead by example and action, as well as be each other's keeper. Student leaders must live humanely. You don't have to read the news too much right now to realize these are unorthodox times. The devastation of Hurricane Harvey and Irma have displaced so many families from their homes. ABC's Karma Allen reported that the damage between the two as between $150 and $200 billion. To consider that destruction, the destruction of people's memories, homes, and futures, is unbelievable. Students have taken initiative and have arranged for Nelson's to serve chicken during homecoming, and a great portion of the proceeds will go to those affected by Hurricane Harvey. More generally, a Wabash man has to look out for his fellow brothers and sisters. This has multiple implications to such pressing issues like DACA facing members of our own family. It may be tough, but nothing in life is worthwhile comes easy. The actions and traditions we now have or were inherited. But what will we give to the next generation? What will they inherit? What should they inherit? I'll answer with a poem. An old man going a lone highway came at the evening cold and gray to a chasm vast, deep, and wide, through which was flowing a sullen tide. The old man crossed in the twilight dim. The sullen stream had no fear for him, but he turned when safe on the other side and built a bridge to span the tide. Old man, said a fellow pilgrim near, you are wasting your strength with building here. Your journey will end with evening day. You never again will pass this way. You've crossed a chasm deep and wide. Why build this bridge at evening tide? The builder lifted his old great head. Good friend, in this path I've come, he said. There followed after me today a youth whose feet passed this way. This chasm that has been as naught to me, to that fair-headed youth may a pitfall be. He too must cross in the twilight dim. Good friend, I am building this bridge for him. God bless the student body. God bless the faculty and staff and all those who make this community so great. But above all, God bless Wabash College.